Hi guys, this is Maria and Manos and you're watching On the Couch with M&M.
The show to help you build fun and profitable businesses.
Hi team, welcome back. We are so excited to welcome today a very special guest, Jacki Mitchell. Jacki is a brand profiler and a neuro marketing educator. Now we're going to find out all about that today. And we're very excited to have you back. You've been on the couch before, and it's always amazing to talk about branding and marketing and where it all fits with personal brand and corporate brand. So we're going to go through all of that today. We're very thrilled to have you back. Welcome back.
And especially from someone who's not in real estate. So that's what the beauty about, obviously, the content and the value that you provide.
Looking at it from the outside in.
Outside in.
Well, always, whenever you ask, I cannot say no to you.
No.
So it's always a pleasure to be here. It's always good fun.
It's always good fun. Yeah. We're going to break it up to about 2 or 3 episodes, I reckon, today. There's so much content in here. We're just going through it with you before, but let's start.
Okay, let's go.
That's it.
Let's go. All right, What do you want to do?
So
ask me a question.
Ask me a question. You know what? I'll ask you a question.
Okay.
When are you opening Cheltenham?
Oh, the Cheltenham office.
Yeah,
Cheltenham office
exciting.
is opening in September. Right. So by the time this interview comes to
it'll
air, it'll be very, very close.
Yeah.
So thank you for asking. We're very, very excited about
super
another office.
It's going to be awesome.
It's
really
closer to the city.
And you've now got a collection of brands yourself. I know I've noticed Tango and Zebra's starting to get a bit of traction in the marketplace.
It is.
Yeah. And look, our whole philosophy is giving everyone an identity, and I think that's what's going to be unique in what you bring to the table as well. Talking about everyone having their own unique identity out in the marketplace and how they can leverage that, because we know it works, and people want to be dealing with people. At the end of the day, they want to know who they're dealing with, and their authentic selves.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess, our point of difference. And if we can help people do that and achieve that, and achieve their goals, that's what's really exciting.
I've always liked your philosophy. So, we talk about B2B and B2C, and you keep hearing about that. And the real thing now is H2H, the human to human. So people and business are starting to realise now that we are dealing with people. And I think that's been the advent of the digital revolution. We keep hearing about AI, artificial intelligence and things like that. And that's all it's great, and it's certainly got a place, and it's the future of business. But I think what it's done is highlighted how important people are.
Yeah.
That we still are speaking with people. We're still wanting people to react to us. We're wanting to get their attention. They're the ones actually buying things.
I think there's a perfect segue for getting people's attention.
Here we go.
We've got the M&Ms on the...
Thank you, Jazz.
Fantastic.
Are you meant to get into the bowl?
No, man, you get in the bowl. Brilliant. I love that. And this is the neuro stuff that I'm doing now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the neuro marketing, which is about the brain. So again, a nice segue into dealing with humans. We've all got this incredible computer processing system in our head that we call our brain, and our brain determines what we pay attention to. It determines how we react to our environment, how we interpret our environment. It makes us make decisions. It's part of our decision making process. So our brain is absolutely key with dealing with people. So if we can learn how to use it more effectively, we can understand our own brain, and that's going to help us understand other brains. And then we can help to understand people better, communicate more effectively.
And our message. Communicate our message more effectively.
And also learn to persuade and influence. Now,
that's the key, isn't it? Persuade and influence.
For good, not evil.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Getting it, and that's what marketing is all about. But this is a real neuro hack. I love it, because M&M, everyone knows this. We did the whole you get in the bowl, no, you get in the bowl. We all know that. And you're leveraging the M&M brand off their brand, because this is an existing memory. So it's much easier for us to attach to an existing memory than create a new memory. For our brain to create a new memory, it's really hard, and it gets harder as you get older. But it's very taxing for the brain to create new memories. That's why we forget so much. So our short-term memory has a limit. And so we keep piling it with all this information around. It's like a bucket, it overflows. So we either need to transfer that memory to our long-term, or the brain starts going, you know what?
I don't need that. I don't need that.
But the brain decides, not you. So that's why sometimes you forget important things, because the brain doesn't know if it's important or not. If it's important, you need to transfer it to your long term. Anyway, Eminem, I love it.
Thank you.
I love it.
So,
Thank you.
speaking about that concept, and we are talking to business owners of real estate agencies and sales agents and property managers, how can they use that that personal profiling to help them win business and persuasion and influence?
Yeah.
If you're a sales agent out there, what would you do?
Well, first thing would be that to sell anything, you're dealing with a human being, firstly, another person. And for them to listen to you, firstly, you've got to get their attention. Then they've got to believe you. So to believe you, they've got to like you. So they've got to like you first, or and then believe you to lead to trust. I get a bit annoyed when I see the leap from like you, trust you, and it's not that short a leap. It's quite a long leap. And it takes time to build up a relationship, So, and that's why the repetition with key messages. It used to be 7 was the standard. Now it's up to 9 or 12 of the one message repetition for people to get through. But building that relationship takes time. And so social media is part of that, but it's not the only thing. So I think it's really important that you develop your, we talk about personal branding, and I've developed that. Personal branding, I find that people get confused about how they are at home versus how they are at work.
Perfect, yeah.
Which bits of me do I
show?
They find it a bit too salesy, but I want to be authentic. They say, like, what are you suggesting you're going to be fake or false?
Yeah.
And they feel it's so heavily designed that they're not being real. So I've developed a system called a corporate character, is what I like to refer it as. So it's a brand profile that's your work or your professional brand or how you are at work. So there's a number of elements there. Firstly, the process is identifying who you are, what's real, and what you're good at. What are your strengths? Focus on what's strong, not what's wrong. Like, what is your strengths? A really good place to start. Then you look at your customers. Who is it that I want them to like me? Who is it that I want them to believe me? So, your customers, your clients, whoever it is, your target audience is, what's going to matter to them? Do they care if you have children? Do they care if you have pets? Do they care that you have a food allergy? They may or may not. Which parts of your personality are they going to care about? Yeah. So choose wisely. Pick the bits of you that are real, authentic, and you're good at, that you're going to absolutely excel at, and, expertise, do it with ease. Yeah. And then what your customers are going to really react to. That's a really good place to start. And then once you get that consistent messaging through, whether you're speaking face-to-face with people, whether you're presenting in a meeting or presenting at a conference or a seminar, on your social media posts, whatever contact moments that you have, there's a consistency across that. And that's the consistency that humans react to really well, because we get very uncomfortable with inconsistent behaviour. It makes us very nervous. The first thing the brain does within 3 seconds of meeting someone new is try to look for similarities. Because back in saber-toothed tiger days, or our old brain, it has to work really quickly to go, is it going to eat me? Or can I eat it? Is it going to help me survive? Or is it a threat to my existence? That the brain does that, and that's that subconscious processing, which is over 90% of your brain we don't even aware of. It's inherent to our survival. So that looking for similarities is a real key.
So can you give an example of an agent trying to give a key message out there in the marketplace to attract his audience? What sort of key messages?
Because our vendors are all different, aren't
That's
they?
right.
So you're dealing, and you don't even know them. So the marketing and getting into the door is even before you even meet them. But we all know what they want, and that is to move from one place to the other with ease, the easiest possible way, and get the maximum amount of money. I think that's the result. Yeah, in the short. So we know what they want, but we don't know them. So how do you? Yeah,
it's like everyone's got the same. We all have the same ingredients. I guess it's how we put all those ingredients together that's going to obviously make the cake at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But what sort of distinction. If I was a sales agent out there, what could I put out there?
Yeah,
I'm a family man, or is it my kids? What?
Absolutely. So it's about identifying what you're really good at, what you're absolutely excelling at. And that doesn't mean you have to be introverted or extroverted. It's about your style. And what is it about your style that people like? So a really good way to test that, if you get stuck with that, is to get some what they call 360-degree feedback. Now, you can ask family and friends, and they can say, well, if you had to describe me in a couple of words, what would you use? That's not a bad way. Got to be careful, okay? Because it could cause some, I didn't know you thought about that about me like that. But a really cool way is using LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is absolutely the number one platform for business, and everyone should be on LinkedIn. It's a really cool tool to use. Is ask for testimonials. So there's an element on there that you can ask for recommendations if you go onto LinkedIn. So go and ask some people that you've done business with. So then you go, okay, they're the sort of people that are my target audience. I wonder what they liked about me. So ask for to recommend, and you can get some amazing insights into your recommendation. Independent, you're not the honest, independent recommendations as to what they liked about you. Then you can start seeing some patterns and go, actually, yeah, that is me. I wasn't aware of it. Or no, it's not really me. But at least it's a good start to that. Yeah. And figuring out what it is about you that people like.
That connects with people.
That's right.
Awesome.
It's fantastic.
I think we've got so much to talk about. I think
you're indulging me in my favourite topics.
I know. I could be here. I could be sitting here listening to you.
Well, it's very kind.
For 3 hours.
It's very kind.
So we'll wrap up this episode, but you're going to come back and we're going to talk next week on the power of no.
The power of no.
The power of no.
Yeah, but I suppose just to leave it on the corporate character or your brand profile is to choose wisely would be my tip. So think of 3 key personality traits. Try to focus on emotional ones. People tend to sort of always go on the rational ones. I'm good with numbers, or I'm always on time, I'm punctual, I'm reliable. Start thinking about some emotive ones, because we respond really well with emotion.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. People connect.
They do.
More with emotion.
Yeah.
And they remember how you make them feel, not what you say to them. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's the one.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us this week.
We're staying here. We're going to keep going. But you're not going to sit until next week.
That's right. Okay. So we look forward to seeing you next week, and we're going to be talking about the power of no.
Thanks guys.